In the mountains of New South Wales, Australia, a beautiful song can be heard throughout the forest. The song of the Regent Honeyeater. But with a steep population decline in the last 200 years, we could lose this song from the natural soundscape. Hello everybody, my name is Jeongwoo Park, Darwin Leader from South Korea, Laotian continent. I just flew over the Wallace Line and now I'm here in the New South Wales, Australia, looking for Regent Honeyeaters. So, let's do it one more time. Before the arrival of European settlers to Australia, huge flocks of Regent Honeyeater would populate these forests. But the arrival of the first British settlers in the 1700s led to habitat destruction on a huge scale.
They're a species that specialises on feeding on eucalyptus trees that flower. There's hundreds of eucalyptus trees, but they like the ones that grow on good soils. And unfortunately, when Europeans arrived in Australia, they wanted those good soils for agriculture. And so all the trees that Regent Honeyeaters will breed in, many of those have been cleared.
As they clear land for housing and agriculture, the forest that the Regent Honeyeater called home fragmented and became smaller and smaller. Along with the habitat destruction, other issues like drought and the introduction of invasive species led to an extinction vortex, rapidly increasing the decline of the Regent Honeyeater.
The other threats to the Regent Honeyeater, now that the population size has reduced so much, that because of the habitat loss, there's lots of other threats to them as well. So they've identified that one of their other big threats is the fact that their nests get predated upon. So then they have very low reproductive success. So a lot of work is being done to try and protect the nests in the wild, to try and increase the amount of breeding that is successful in the wild.
The Regent Honeyeater is one of many species of honeyeater in Australia, and so they have to compete for access to the flower in those trees with maybe 10 to 15 other species of honeyeater, and most of those are actually bigger than the Regent Honeyeater. And so historically, the species would have wandered the landscape in big flocks, and so unfortunately now they don't have that safety in numbers to be able to compete with these bigger species, and so they're losing out, and that makes it harder for them to breed, harder for them to survive.
This is the Blue Mountains, New South Wales, Australia, which is one of the last remaining habitats of the Regent Honeyeater. Today, the range of the Regent Honeyeater is restricted to northeast Victoria, New South Wales, and southern Queensland. Within this range, the Regent Honeyeaters have developed two kinds of dialects of their song: the Northern Tableland song and the Blue Mountains song. But recently, however, the scientists found somewhat weird version of Regent Honeyeater song somewhere here in Blue Mountains. It was obviously derived from the Blue Mountains type of song, but it was somewhat different compared to the proper one. Interestingly, this song only appears in areas with a particularly low density of Regent Honeyeaters.
So Regent honeyeaters have, what we found through our monitoring is that they've had this weird song culture. And so what happens normally is that songbirds will learn to sing their song. So it's not like an innate sound that they produce. The calls are innate, the song is learned. So it's a similar way to humans will learn to speak. And what's happened, what we think is happening is that as the population has become smaller and more sparsely distributed than it should be, some young juveniles, when they leave the nest and wander off into the landscape, they are unable to locate other older birds to learn their songs from. And so they don't know what they should be singing. So the males in the wild that sing songs that are different from the cultural norm, what we found was those birds were less likely to be paired to a female, and the ones that are paired were less likely to nest.
Fortunately, there are people working toward restoring this beautiful bird in their natural environment. In the next episode, we'll see the measures and efforts being undertaken to ensure we can hear the Regent Honeyeaters sing for generations to come.